Hello, I'm the Who Guy and welcome back to this very special review where we're taking a look at the Ruby Sunday retail version figure. Of course, this figure is from Character Options and it does retail for $17.99, and you can find this retail version in a lot of places such as Forbidden Planet, Argos and Asda, and also independent toy shops are getting them and some sellers on eBay, and I think the price is quite justified for a figure these days. And doesn't it look stunning? Of course, this figure is from the 5.5 inch range. And ignore the mark on my face, I hit a cupboard.
You what?
Yes, I stupidly hit a cupboard. So let's open up this figure and compare it to the previous Ruby release. And here is our Ruby Sunday figure from Dot and Bubble. This retail release, of course, is in a different style packaging, more the blister card type, which you usually see on a lot of figures these days. Going to be much harder to get out the figure without damaging the packaging, which is a shame, because when comparing this new style packaging to the Vortex one is so much superior in most ways. It just feels a bit more sturdier, as well as that you don't have to damage the box to get the figure out, and you can put the figure back in without damaging any of the packaging. So this one much better than this Ruby release. And starting off with the top of the packaging, the Character Options online website, as well as the 15th Doctor's logo. A big clear window for Ruby to be presented well with the vortexy pinkish purple background. You get a couple of diamonds stating that this is part of the 5.5 inch range, as well as it is a articulated action figure. We'll of course get the nice picture of the TARDIS in the bottom left, and of course the name of this figure, which is Ruby Sunday, and the era that it is from. And on the back you get a lovely photo, unfortunately not a image of the actual costume this figure is from, which is a bit disappointing, because with the shooty one they did match up to the actual costume that is inside this figure. And of course with that Vortex edition, the exact same costume as this new Dot and Bubble version, which is a shame. It would have been nice to match, only a little nitpick. Of course this retail release is missing the Vortex edition right up, which is a bit weird considering these include the same amount of detailing and articulation. We do get that Ruby Sunday picture there, as well as a nice write-up all about Ruby Sunday. And we get loads of legal things, as well as that Doctor Who merchandise sticker. So that's it for the Ruby Sunday packaging. Let's open her up. What? You haven't subscribed to the Who Guy channel? Why don't you click down below and subscribe for me? It really does help out the channel, as well as like this video if you enjoy these reviews. And you can also click up there for a brand new giveaway on the channel. Now I'll shut up and you can watch the rest of the review. And here we have the Ruby out of its packaging, and I've got to say again, Character Options have done a wonderful job with this Ruby figure. There are a couple of inaccuracies with this figure because it is using that same sculpt as the Vortex figure, but I still think this does work and it's a decent portrayal of her character in the episode, and that episode being a Dot and Bubble. Starting off with the head with this figure, with the brand new head sculpt and hair, with this bright blonde hair, as well as the Ruby face, which is okay. I think it's not as good as the Ncuti Gatwa one. However, I think Millie Gibson is definitely in this figure. You just kind of have to squint a bit. But again, we do get the problem where her head kind of is detached from her hair, so we get this real kind of bold scalp underneath it, you can see there. And we do get the slit in her eyebrow, which is really nicely painted. Down to her coat, I think this is probably the best part of the figure. It's this denim jacket look, which is kind of hard to portray in a plastic figure, and I think they've done probably the best they could. I think the arms do look a bit stone-like. However, I think the jacket itself looks nice, and with the painted fur detailing, again, not 100% accurate to the episode jacket she was wearing. However, I think this is decent enough and very close to that story. The jumper's pretty decent with the nice pattern design, painted really well as the silver necklaces there across her neck, looking really well painted and detailed. Then we come down to maybe the worst part about this figure, and that is her skirt or skirt short thing. Not accurate. She had shorts in the episode, and this definitely is not what she was wearing. So that is a bit unfortunate. However, I still think the colour is alright and accurate. It's just the basic design of it being a skirt at the front is definitely not what she wore in that episode. Again, wearing tights, so we get this weird brown colour for her legs, which doesn't really work for me, I've got to say. from afar it does, but looking close up, it just looks like she has brown legs. It's really, really odd. But coming down to the boots, we do get that awesome detailing there with the different laces and sole. And that's been painted in black and brown colours. So for detailing, I think this is decent, but not great accuracy because, of course, different elements on this figure are just reuses from that previous figure and doesn't quite work for her outfit in the story. But I think it's close enough.
How close were we?
Being this brand new Gen 3 figure, of course, has loads of articulation. Of course, you can do the full 360 with the head, but you're going to rub all the paint off, so I won't do that. But you can also tilt it because it is on a awesome ball joint. Of course, the arms can kick out there, as well as bend at the elbow, and of course her wrists can swivel. And talking about those fingers, we do get painted detailing as well as a ring. But of course, she's got that weird pointy finger again. Why? And of course, the arms can rotate. We of course get the waist articulation as well, which is much improved on these new Gen 3 figures. And she could do the full 360 there at the waist too. And her leg can swivel at the top, as well as kick out, again hindered by the skort. And she does have a bend at the knee, which is a bit suspect, feels a bit cheap, and kind of looks cheap. It's quite a shame because they've hidden all of the other aspects of her articulation really well. It's just that knee joint. And of course, her boot do the full 360. So overall articulation on this figure is much improved than previous companion figures, but still would have liked these legs just to be a bit more secure and a bit more hidden. And this figure doesn't come with any accessories, which is, I think, is a real shame. I don't know what accessory, though, you could give her. However, it is a shame that at least the Doctor gets the Sonic. Ruby gets nothing. It is a shame. Maybe even her phone in this would have been nice. And if we compare this figure to that Vortex edition, I think the Vortex edition is miles in front. Of course, you do get the other accessories, but I just think for accuracy wise, this Ruby is so much better. I prefer the colours of this Ruby as well with the red and black. I think that pops out more of a darker colour scheme. I just prefer this one, and with the added accessories on this one, can't really complain. And detailing wise, they are pretty much exactly the same with the face and hair. Using those same sculpts, you could argue was a bit lazy from character options, but I'm just happy to have some companion figures out finally. So, comment down below which one of these Ruby figures is your favourite. That's it for this Ruby figure review. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you aren't already. Overall, I think this figure is, again, very, very well done. I do prefer, once again, the Vortex figure, just the overall costume and the accuracy of that figure. But this one is going to look cool on the shelf. And of course, that light blue jacket is definitely going to pop on the shelf. And it's just so nice to see detailed figures of companions, because we have had previous companions just get no detail or reused parts. And this is nice to finally get a brand new sculpt. And even if you compare it to like some figures like the Clara figure we got, that was a very lazy, boring figure. At least this has a bit of personality to it. And that's your lot. So comment down below Ruby figure you do prefer, as well as if you're going to be picking up any of these figures. I've been the Who Guy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Maybe it's a Sunday.